I've heard hundreds of students tell me, I'm going to a public university because it'll cost less than coming to Belhaven. Can I be blunt? No, it won't. In fact, it'll probably cost lots more. Yes, their tuition might be lower, but their fees are probably higher and the scholarships are likely to be much lower. But you still have to live someplace no matter where you go to school. But for the sake of discussion, let's assume it's much less expensive to pay tuition at a public state university. But it still doesn't add up to money savings over time. Because of this, only 19% of public university students are able to graduate in 4 years. The average time it takes to graduate is 5 years and 8 months. At big schools, classes fill up because they don't offer enough sections for the number of students. Now, it's bad enough you're going to be in a class of 250 students, but when you can't even sign up for the classes you need to graduate on time because they're filled, your education slows down dramatically. And don't forget, most of your smaller core classes during those first 2 years at a public school are going to be taught by graduate students, not full-time, terminally degreed faculty like we have here at Belhaven. So, let's do the math. At Belhaven, you'll graduate in 4 years unless you change your major several times. If you go to a state university, it'll take you 3 semesters longer on average to graduate. Those are just the facts. That means you're paying tuition, fees, and room and board for an extra 18 months. But more importantly, you're a year and a half later getting into the job market and you've lost that much in earnings. So let's total up how that breaks down. For 4 years at Belhaven, after scholarships, the tuition may be about $35,000 more than what you pay for the same 4 years at a state university. Because it'll take you an additional 18 months to graduate from the state university than if you went to Belhaven, you'll lose $52,000 in income if your first job pays $35,000 a year. And you'll be paying more room and board during that time without income to offset it. Now, not counting the room and board, attending Belhaven would save you at least $32,000 over the real cost of attending a state university, even within state tuition, if you look at the time to graduate in 4 years compared to 5.5 years. Plus, you'll have a year and a half ahead on the career ladder before the state university graduates even show up for the first day of work. But that's only part of the financial story and your academic story. Belhaven is the only school in America that offers freshmen a double major tuition free in your 5th year if that degree requirements push you beyond the normal 4 years. You could double major in any 2 degrees at Belhaven: English and education, dance and communications, biology and business. The combinations are endless. Now, this double major promise is that your 5th year tuition will be free, and that will prepare you for a wider field of opportunity in your career because you won't have the additional cost, but you'll graduate with 2 majors. But there's one other remarkable offering Belhaven is providing freshmen, and that's a free online master's degree after you graduate. That means after you finish at Belhaven, you could earn an MBA, a Master's of Leadership, Sports Administration, Education, or Healthcare Administration for free, and they're all online so you can do them from wherever the Lord takes you after you graduate here. And you could do it anytime after you graduate, immediately when you finish, or 20 years later if you like. So let's put all the numbers together. It'll be about $35,000 more upfront in tuition for you to come here. But by graduating on time at Belhaven, you'll earn back $15,000 by not paying them for an extra 3 semesters of tuition. And you'll have earned $50,000 in your career while your peers are still in school for that extra 18 months. And then if you do a double major with us, your 5th year is free, while with them, that'll cost you an extra $15,000. And you're going to receive a completely free online master's degree from Belhaven when you graduate, which is a $15,000 to $25,000 cost saving. So by coming to Belhaven, instead of going to a state university, you're going to save $60,000 to $70,000. And that's a lot of money.